27th of December, same as the last video. Got a few little jobs to do today. Done Anthony pigs and that, fed the pigs and chickens and things. As you can tell, our yard is pretty wet and pretty muddy. Originally this was a grass field, this top yard, but the last 5 years the baling's gone, so well really since we started the power station, really. We've had quite a lot more work baling since we've started the power station. So top field has sort of turned into a straw yard. A bit of machinery's kept up here as well, the older stuff and trailers and things. Just got to put a couple of bales into the cattle, bales of hay. We've got some rough hay for a farmer we buy per bale. He's got a couple of like grass margins and bits and bobs like that, and under a scheme which allows the farmer to cut once a year just to clean it all up and that, and it's just rough. It's not great quality stuff. Some of it's alright actually, but some bits aren't. Some bits have got a bit of thistle and that in them. But for cattle and that, and for sheep, for lambing, it's better than using silage all the time. They tend to like this hay. But yeah, so I'll just move you over and cut these. I don't want to cut these bales yet, do I? No, I want to put over the feeder first. I'm only going to put 2 in, so they're not too bad really. I might put a couple of extra ones in, but we'll see. Now I'm going to give the sheep a couple of, well, we'll give them 1 bale of hay for later on. They are still out on grass, but there's not a lot of grass out there, so yeah, so it will help. It just helps them along a little bit, especially that now they're in lamb and that they need that a little bit extra help. So I'll just put you on my head now. So yeah, when Chloe brought me the GoPro, it come as a bundle set with a few mounts and things. One of them was a head one, and with this clip that clips to the cap of a hat, and then there's a tripod, an extendable tripod, which I'll probably use in a bit when I'm strapping lorries down. And then this is our bull Felix, seen him in a few of Dad's videos and possibly some of mine, I can't remember now, but he's a good old boy. He's a bit jumpy, but for a bull he's not bad really. I'm just going to crawl under here to cut the netting out the way. We've got like one big feeder in the middle, that because what we do is we keep the cars for about 18 months, so just before it comes to fattening, because that's when you need to be putting most feed into them. So we tend not to go that far with them. Usually sell them just before we get to that point. It is worth, well, if you've got the time, and if you're a stockman, just a stock farm, yeah, we'd keep them till it's time for slaughter, till they're fat. But with the contracting and everything else that we do, we don't have the time and we don't have the shed space to be able to keep them for that long. As you can see, we've only got these 4 steers left. We sold a lot couple of weeks ago to a friend of ours. These ones were the sort of smaller ones that need keeping for a little bit longer really. And then we've actually got some of the calves, the older calves are actually quite big, that were the cattle still, which need taking off. They need taking off, but that will probably be done next week or the week after. Well, Jack's off next week, so it'll probably be the week after we do that. There is a possibility that we might have some bale carting to do as well, not this week coming but the week after. Hang on, I'll just shake this bale about. Usually I'd use our smaller bale grab. I'd take this off and put our smaller one in. Oh, that's right. Usually I'll put our smaller one in. Use our smaller bale grab, but because I've got a load of straw lorry, there's no point in taking it off and then putting it back on again. So I'll just use this. It's a bit awkward, but it's not too bad. So yeah, just got to feed cattle today, sheep, and load this lorry. Shouldn't take me long to do, but the thing with farming, you can't. Most other jobs you can stop for Christmas. Being farmers, as a lot of people who watch my videos do know, the cattle don't stop eating for Christmas. If anything, they eat more when it gets this, well, cold, but it's not that cold. But our cattle they do need bedding down a little bit really, but I'll probably do that when Dad gets back. It's not much fun bedding down on your own. I must admit, the amount of times I've thought about bale shredders and how useful one would be. We actually had a Teagle Tomahawk. It was an old second-hand one, but we had it on demo from Oliver's. They had it. On the back of a tractor. It didn't really work with our handling system, our sheds and that. Our sheds are a bit sort of, they're more multi-purpose sheds rather than cattle sheds. So if you really wanted to, well, in the summer all the string and that is stored in them, so it isn't really. These are like the original sheds of the farm when my dad started. Oh. But so yeah, they're sort of originally, this was just it was cattle sheds, which were then turned into a grain store when that was probably when we started to get some actual ground, arable ground, because before we had Sutton we only had about 100 acres of arable, so there was no need for a big grain store, so we had just that one shed. So the farm has grown a lot in the past 10 years and a lot has changed. To be honest, I think that'll be enough bales for them actually to last them the weekend. Grab another one for the sheep and then that will do them. Can't think what else to talk about, but yeah, we've got some bales that we might be carting back with tractor and trailer. We've got a customer who's after some, and rather than taking the lorries off the power station job to take their straw, we might do it with tractors and trailers. So we've actually getting income from both the power station and this extra straw. We'll see what happens really, see what happens on the farm. You never know what will happen on the farm. Things change just like that on the farm, so it's a bit difficult to, if a lorry breaks down, it's everybody works together to get it sorted. We have got to heptivac the sheep, me and Chloe have, at some point soon, in the next 2 weeks. And then heptivac them every, what was it, 4 to 6 weeks before lambing. So middle of January it needs to be done. But yeah, I think we will definitely be going to Lammer this year. I don't know which day we will go, and I haven't really seen much about it yet. I haven't been keeping up with it, but the JCB stand was good last year. The Crone stand was good as well. We like the Crone stand. There really are two main machines on the farm, our fast tracks and the Crones. Crone big pack balers. A lot of our hay machinery is still Bailey at the moment. And you can see a lot of the smaller stuff and the less electrical stuff is still out in the bottom field, so we don't really have enough space in the sheds to store it all, so it's a bit, yeah, so it gets stored out in this bottom field, bottom paddock, and up in the top field with all the straw. As you can see, this field's pretty messy. We don't get, a lot of the water runs off the yard and into this bottom paddock, into this bottom square bit, so it all builds up here and makes a mess, and it doesn't help having to drive through with loaders to feed sheep, but that's all we can do at the moment, the best we've got. Sheep will probably be coming in about a month's time for lambing. Don't like to leave them out there because we haven't had any serious cold weather yet. I might go and put this out in the field with the other bit actually. We haven't had any seriously cold weather yet, so hopefully it won't be too bad. There's one ewe over there limping a bit, but we'll see what the weather does. If it does suddenly get very cold, we'll probably bring the ewes in earlier than what we would probably, but we'll see what happens. And as you can see, even this part of the field's all poached up. We'll need a flat roll going through it, but it really does need ploughing and re-drilling, this bottom paddock. We doesn't get used and abused, but it just doesn't get some of the care like the other grass fields do. It's sort of just holding area for when the cattle first come in and out of sheds, so it's sort of, it's not a main field of ours, but we're lucky enough that Dad has a lot of hay ground, so after Dad takes his first cut of hay off of a lot of our ground, that is about it that we'll get off of that ground. So Dad lets me and Chloe graze our sheep on that sort of ground, and so we actually do have quite a lot of grazing and rough grazing. We've got a lot of rough grazing, and we haven't got really enough cattle to graze all the ground, but it just seems a shame to lose ground. We're trying to build the cattle up, but as everybody knows, cattle are expensive, and it does take time to build that side up, so it doesn't work too bad. But this is Leo, the tup. We were going to make him into a teaser tup last year. Well, he's last year's lambs. He needs a tag as well.